Ever looked at a hobby, like really niche, and wondered why sometimes the older tech just sticks around, even when there's newer, supposedly better stuff out there? Well, today, we're diving into exactly that. We're looking at the Tamiya radio-controlled world. Specifically, why different groups of hobbyists prefer very different battery types. We've got a stack of sources here, articles, notes, research you sent in, and our mission today is to unpack why two kinds of batteries, NiCH and Life, really dominate this scene.
Yeah, and it's not just random preference, you know. These choices, they're really rooted in things like the original designs, keeping the old mechanics safe. Safety itself is a big one, and even some cultural things. It basically leads enthusiasts down two very distinct paths, but both make a lot of sense when you look closer.
Okay, let's start with the global standard then.
Yep.
Why nickel metal hydride Nia? Why is that the go-to for so many people running vintage Tamiya or even the re-releases?
Right. Well, you have to go back to how Tamiya originally designed things, say, from the mid-70s through the 90s. Think of classics like the Porsche 934. They weren't just selling a car kit. It was conceived as a whole balance system, an electromechanical system. You had the standard Mabuchi motor, the RS540S, usually paired with a 6-cell, 7.2-volt nickel-cadmium pack. NiCH, and those NiCH packs had this very distinct characteristic. Under load, the voltage would dip noticeably. We call it voltage sag.
Ah, okay. And the speed controller back then was key to this, right? The mechanical one?
Exactly. The MSC, mechanical speed controller, it used resistors to control the speed. Kind of crude, but effective. And crucially, it was designed expecting that voltage sag from the NiCH battery. The whole thing worked in harmony.
So what happens if you drop in a modern LiPo battery?
Yeah.
Lithium polymer.
Oh, that's where things get messy. Catastrophically messy sometimes. LiPo batteries have super low internal resistance. They just dump power instantly. Their discharge curve is almost flat. Full power until they're basically empty, which is great for modern brushless setups, but for an old MSC, it's overload. The resistors can't handle that constant high current. They get red hot, literally glow.
And melt the surrounding plastic. Yeah, I've seen pictures online. Ouch.
Right. Melts the chassis, ruins the controller. It's bad news. But NiMH, being the direct successor to 9, it still has that voltage sag characteristic. Maybe not as much, but it's there. So it works with the old MSCs. It's a safe drop-in replacement.
And then there's just the physical shape, isn't there? The battery tray problem?
Oh, yeah, the tyranny of the battery tray. Vintage Tamiyas like the Frog, Hornet, Lunchbox, they were molded for those round, cylindrical, 6-cell stick packs. Specific dimensions. Modern LiPos are mostly rectangular bricks. They just don't fit. Not without cutting up the chassis, which a lot of collectors understandably don't want to do. NiMH, same cylindrical stick pack shape, perfect 1.1 fit.
So it's kind of the period-correct upgrade. You get more capacity than the original NIDs, like 3,000, 5,000 Mia versus maybe 1,200 back then.
Exactly. More runtime.
But the power delivery is softer. It doesn't shred those old, sometimes fragile plastic gearboxes like a LiPo might.
Precisely. It's what some call mechanical sympathy. You're respecting the limits of the vintage design, plus the weight. And Ni's pack is around 380 grams, similar to the old Niads. That weight distribution is actually part of the design for handling in some models, like the Frog needing weight in the back for traction. LiPos are much lighter.
And let's not forget the human side. Ni is just easier, right?
Absolutely. It's robust. You can drop it. It's inherently safe. No real fire risk if it gets punctured or abused. Charging is simple. Compare that to LiPos. You need special chargers, balancing, low voltage cutoff, storage charging, fire-safe bags.
Yeah, it's a whole ritual. Adds a lot of cognitive load, maybe.
Definitely. Needs is just charge it, run it, store it. Simple. Less worry.
Okay, so that covers NiMH. But now let's shift gears. Let's talk about Japan, because there you see a really strong trend towards life batteries. Lithium iron phosphate. Why is that?
Well, a huge factor there was safety. Especially early on, LiPo fires were a real concern, thermal runaways. And, you know, in Japan, living spaces are often denser. A battery fire is a bigger risk. Life chemistry is just fundamentally much more stable. If it fails, it usually just vents some harmless gas. It doesn't typically ignite like a LiPo can.
And Tamiya themselves pushed this, didn't they?
Yeah.
They market their own life batteries.
They did, and still do. The Tamiya LF battery line, like the LF2200 6.6V, it's official. Plus, the electronics they often include in kits, like the TBLE A02S speed controller. It's specifically designed for life voltage, usually 6.6 to 7.2 volts. And critically, it often has a low voltage cutoff, an LVC, set only for life batteries. They actively warn against using LiPo batteries with that ESC. It creates this kind of manufacturer-approved ecosystem, a bit of a walled garden.
Interesting. So how did racing play into this? Did that influence the life adoption in Japan?
Oh, massively. In Japanese racing series, like the official Tamiya Grand Prix, the rules often allow both 7.2V NiM and 6.6V life packs. Now remember the weight. NiM is about 380 grams, a comparable life pack, maybe 200 grams. That's a huge weight saving in a 110 scale race car, almost 200 grams lighter. Suddenly, life becomes the battery you need if you want to be competitive. It's the winning choice.
Right, the performance edge, but it's still relatively safe for the older gear.
Yeah, that's the Goldilocks aspect. Life is 6.6 volts nominal, peaks around 7.2. That's much gentler than a LiPo, which peaks at 8.4 volts on a full charge. So it's generally safe even for some older brushed motors and electronics while still giving you the punch and lighter weight of lithium tech.
And Tamiya made their life packs fit the old cars too.
They did. Their main life pack, the LF2200, was designed with that classic stick pack shape, same footprint. So for a Japanese hobbyist with a mix of vintage and modern Tamiyas, they could potentially standardize on life. It drops right in.
So wrapping this up, what's the big picture here for you, the listener? We're seeing two really clear, logical paths in the Tamiya world. Globally, many stick with NiM. It's about authenticity, protecting the mechanics, simplicity, ease of use. In Japan, there's this strong move to life, driven by safety concerns, boosted by Tamiya's own products, and cemented by racing rules, giving it a competitive edge, while still being relatively compatible.
Exactly. It's not really about one battery being better overall. It's about knowledgeable enthusiasts making choices that fit their specific priorities, their cars, and how they want to use them. Both paths make sense.
So maybe something for you to think about.
Yeah.
Where else do you see older tech persisting like this? Not because people are stuck in the past, but because that older tech is just uniquely suited for a specific job or a specific community. And maybe how do cultural factors like safety concerns or racing rules shape which technologies get adopted, sometimes in surprising ways?